Okay, let me quickly share this. Okay, so let's get going. Yesterday I was working on the sidebar navigation. I tried to finalize it, but I got stuck with a Cypress test for the mobile version. Of course, like 5 minutes after stopping the live stream, I had the aha moment and I was able to fix it. I also yesterday I went through my code changes and did a PR, pull request review. So I also fixed the issues that I found during the review. And now let me quickly go through this. In a real team, this is yeah, basically every day you have a meeting, in most teams at least, called the daily stand-up. And this meeting is basically everybody on the team, the developers and maybe the designer and also product manager, it depends on the team setup. Everybody has their turn, and you will just talk about what you did yesterday, what you will do today, and if there are any impediments, if you got stuck anywhere and need help. Other teams might just use the board and then go through everything that is in progress. So there are different approaches, but this, like, what did I do yesterday? What will I do today? This is pretty normal in many teams. So yeah, yesterday, as I said, we built a mobile version of the sidebar navigation. I can quickly show it here, I hope. Something is not working. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, so this sidebar, I fixed some issues here and also tried to write some Cypress tests for the mobile version. And yeah, there I got stuck, as I said, and we had this code review here. And here you can see all the commits fixing the comments here. Let's have a look at the commits first. So this one, maybe you remember, but I tried to copy paste some functions like view is view in viewport from an issue in Cypress, and it didn't really work. The problem was that this rectangle didn't have the right coordinates, so it behaved as if it was still on the screen, and in fact it wasn't. The thing that I realized is that the sidebar navigation, as you can see here, here, it's animated. So it takes 300 milliseconds to be on the screen and go slide off again. And for some reason, Cypress shows the this slide off animation. This is what it sees initially. So basically, directly after rendering it, the navigation is inside the screen, so the tests weren't working correctly. And my aha moment was, yeah, so if things like this happen, you can always try to wait for some time. And when I added this wait function here, which basically just waits for 500 milliseconds and then checks if the navigation is in the viewport, then everything works fine. So I can basically show you. Let me check where's the fixes mobile menu. So the commit here is the commit ID. So actually, let's step one more in the past. So npm run Cypress. So this will open the Cypress test. And this will open the browser. Just takes a moment. Actually, this doesn't work, of course, because I never committed the broken test. Yeah, sorry for that. So you see that there won't be any mobile tests here. Anyways, git checkout, and then sidebar navigation was the branch, I guess. We can just do it like this. Ah, that's interesting. I can show you this test. Yeah, so now everything works fine. Not sure why this is not working. Hopefully this was just flaky. Ah, okay, that's actually good to know. I wasn't aware of that. I also changed I went from pixel to REM units. So everything that was pixel is now REM. This has the nice effect that when you change the settings for like people who need larger font sizes, so you can basically go here, then in appearance, font size, customized font size, and now you see that everything is increasing according to the font size. Also here. So this looks much better. And let's see, that's the standard font size. And while I was doing that, I also increased the viewport width. So probably this is breaking now because here on desktop you can see that it's actually not using the correct resolution. So let me wrap this. And then it's only 1000 pixel, yeah. So we need to use a different viewport, Cypress and viewport. So we can use a MacBook 13 or something. We could also define the numbers here. I'm fine. Actually, let's check. I also updated the theme to have this breakpoint here, and also adjusted the naming here. This is now color, space, everything is singular. Yeah, so 64 pixel, it's a bit annoying, of course. 64 times 16, it's now 1024. So we should have a larger viewport, 1024. Let's see. And 900 maybe, I'm not sure. This should be fine actually. Yeah, okay. And now everything is working again. So you can see this is actually 1025. This should probably be, yeah, okay. So now we have the desktop version. Let's commit this as well quickly. And let's desktop viewport for Cypress tests. Okay. So now what you can see is that the CI is running. And here you can see already that something failed. This CI, if you're not familiar with that, it's basically a set of like scripts that you can run. And I use GitHub Actions here, which is quite easy to set up. I explained how I did this setup in a separate video. But here you can see that different things are running. Here CI, for example, this is installing the dependencies, then we run the linter, we run prettier. These steps were all fine. And then during npm run build, there is a problem. And it seems that there's some problem with TypeScript, and I'm not really sure what that is. So type error. Theme, default theme. So let's check the file. Maybe, I hope we see the same error here. Yeah, okay, that's at least good. So let me fix this quickly. I hope quickly. That index. Okay. So the problem is that I find the theme here. I added the z-index header, and then I also have the styles here. And the problem here is that I defined this as a string, but it should be a number. Okay, so let's check. Yeah, now it's working. Yeah, if you've seen the video where I set up the application, you might have seen that I used this tool called npm linstaged, and linstaged is running some scripts like ESLint and prettier every time I create a commit. So I'm actually this will prevent that I commit code that doesn't pass the linter or prettier. But obviously this doesn't check for types yet, so maybe I should add this at some point. But as you can also see, the CI did catch this problem, so I wasn't able to merge this to production. So something happened to my video. Let me. For some reason, this is always jumping around. Okay, this looks better. I'm not a real live streaming pro yet, so let's see. Okay, so I fixed this. Fix this theme type. Some changes. So this should still fail. Yeah, and it failed. Okay. Yeah, and once this passes, we will also be able to merge the pull request. Now the last thing that I like to do is turn this into a pull request again, like remove the draft setters. Actually, I never worked with drafts before, so I have to check how to change this. If anybody knows how to do this, let me know, please. Draft pull request. In the merge box. Okay. So it's somewhere here, ready for review. Okay, that was a bit hidden, I think. So yeah, basically we have to wait now for the CI to pass. In the meantime, we can also already check the board. So let's check this again. This is the ticket that I've been working on the last days. So yeah, I did that yesterday. So I will remove the to-dos again. Then let's see this, implement on mobile as an overlay, slides in, slides out, yeah. Okay, so everything is done. I can also show you quickly what I meant by the basic accessibility test. I'm really not very experienced with accessibility, but one thing that's very important is that when you click tab on your keyboard, you should be able to move through all the clickable items. And also these are not links, but buttons. And you can move back. And on mobile, actually not sure if this is, you should do the same, but here, this is the, and then, yeah. This is very good, like if you, for example, in my earlier days, I used to use divs and then add a clicker handler on that, on the div, and this is not really good because if you use a button instead, as I did here, you can automatically use the keyboard, like the spacebar here, or also the return key, and this will open. If you have a div, this you need to add extra functionality, extra handlers, key handlers to implement this functionality. So it's always better to use a button instead, like a clickable div or something. So yeah, basically this seems to be done. Let's move it to in review and check the board for the next items. So there are a few things. This would be a nice simple task to where like currently using style components and the theme, this looks a bit like this gets more and more unreadable from my perspective. This is basically just padding, then I don't know, like one REM and then two REM or something. But like this way, it gets more and more confusing. And having functions like this would be really nice. Or alternatively, we could use the footer. Doesn't have anything yet here. I can show you in the design. So this footer, but this might be a good like first task for the for my React job simulator. So we also have the page container task, which is basically just wrapping this thing, the pages into such a container. Yeah, maybe this is a good thing to start with. Let me also move this here. If anybody has a preference, you can also tell me. We are free to choose at the moment. Yeah, coming back to the PR quickly, this can be merged, review required. Okay, I guess I have the setting here enabled that the review should be required. I will quickly disable that because I'm working alone on this. These are the branch protection rules. So here you can basically say, I want to require pull request before merging. This will prevent direct pushes to the main branch, for example. But you can also enforce like reviews, and most professional projects will do that. So now I will hit the squash and merge button. What this does is that all the commits that we have here, which are quite a lot, like all of these, this is really a lot, and then also like all these fixes for the code review, these will be squashed into a single commit. And you can see it now. So I will leave the branch. Not sure if I will use that for some purpose, but yeah, in the end now we have a single commit here, sidebar navigation, which points us to the pull request. This is really handy. Like usually I should have a description here. Description that also like we could so maybe point that to the task. You won't be able to see this, of course, and then yeah, write something like add sidebar navigation. Some people also use templates here just to create the description with a proper format. Yeah, this should be enough. But as you can see, like we only have a single commit here. This is now also running the CI just to check that everything is working on the main branch. Currently, it's not being deployed anywhere, but this would also be something that we should do at some point. Yeah, so let's check the next task. I think I would like to do this one here. So yeah, I want to have an API like this for color and space at least. So I thought about this already a bit and check. We don't need this anymore at the moment. So I would probably add some functions here to the theme. Function and then color and this is just like a placeholder for now, and then something like this. And what I would like to do is for example here, this one, you can see that style components, when you want to access the theme, you have this string template here, and then you add a function here which gets like access to the theme. It also gets access to the props, as we saw somewhere else. For example, this one, this menu overlay, this has a prop here, and you can access it the same way. Yeah. So basically, if we want to change that into something like color and then gray, then 100, this should return again a function that accepts the theme. So basically something like so this would be the actual function call. I hope this is clear enough. And this is actually a good place to start a bit of like kind of TDD, I would say. So test-driven development. I hope Jest is already set up with Next.js. I'm not sure, but let me TS. Yeah, and now I would like to test color utility function. Okay, so I'm not sure how to fix this. So this is a mocker test function. Would actually like to use Jest, so let me quickly check what I need to do to set up Jest. Okay, this is just an example. So bubble Jest. So we have Cypress here. Playwright. Just to set up Jest, install Jest, testing library React, and testing library Jest DOM. We don't really need all of this yet, but I guess I want to add some testing library tests as well. So just let me go through the complete config here. So set to the root directory. Okay. Quickly check what happened here. Okay, this is so I'm obviously not yet on React 18 here. Let me just install Jest. This was jest.config.js. So let's see. Okay, and this seems to be optional. This is required if we want to use testing library. tsconfig, and then, okay, this is also something that we might need to do in the future. And then let's add this script to package JSON. Hopefully that's enough already. I will add that here. And then okay, that looks good already. Should be enough to get going now. I will stop Storybook and this one, the localhost, and just focus on the tests. So now let's import color, of course. Color and theme as well. What we would like to do is get gray and then 100, for example. Theme to B, and then let me check the color 100. This would be this one. So this doesn't work obviously yet, because that's not a function. So I'm not a TDD professional, so maybe I'm doing something wrong here, but the first thing is to try to get the test to pass. So currently it's red. This is a good starting point for test-driven development. So we would this is not a function, it's the error, so let's return a function. So cannot read property to be of undefined. Let's okay. Was not gray 100. It's not like this. And then expect it's not a real test. So okay. I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong. This is just expect it to be. So let's see, expect 100 to be, okay. To equal. Let's check what is this. Okay, this is chai expect, and this is still mocha. But the test should actually, okay, the test works, but the types are not correct. So testing, there was something about TypeScript. So where's this? We probably need to add something to the TypeScript config. we need. So let's add the types. Save that. These still won't be used, but curious if, no, it's not set up anywhere. Just config. Config, let's see. If this doesn't work, I will fix this later, I guess. Let me check the TS config here. Maybe there's something. Doesn't look like that. TS config. Okay, anyways, it's not the biggest problem here. It's a bit annoying, of course, to not have this, but the test is working after all. So now this test is still failing, and that makes sense, of course, because it's not, color isn't returning anything, so undefined, it's expected to be this. So now we can actually implement the correct test. Let's see. So this should get the color and the shade. I'm not sure how to call this. Color name, maybe name, color name and shade. And then this will get theme, and this should return theme, name and shade. So this should make our test pass, hopefully, but it doesn't. I guess the theme, no, that's correct. Cannot read property 100 of undefined. Okay, yeah. So theme dot color. Okay, now it passes. Now we still have the duplicate function implementation. Let's see, we still don't have types for this, so this would be the name. We define the default theme here, so we should be able to import this or default theme from style components. And now we can do, what's the problem here now? we always had this problem with the theme. I'm not really sure what happens here, but the name should be, I guess it's key of default theme, and then use color. So this will basically let's quickly check. So so the plan is to allow only gray, and if we have different objects here, also like red or whatever, and then allow these numbers here. So same thing, and then gray. Let me quickly, I'm not sure what the problem is here. Yeah, so now it's working. Some strange thing with the IDE. And this one should be theme, default theme. So now this looks actually fine. And then the test passes, so this is also good. Then let's do another test for the color, for the space. Gets color from theme. Utility function gets space from theme. And now we basically want a similar thing here, but if you saw, let's check this again. So basically I want to have space, so be able to use the space in any padding, margin, like these CSS attributes. So we can actually, these will have a few more tests, space utility function. So we can wrap it like this. Then maybe also just for consistency, so now space, and then should be 2. And space 2 should be, let's see, 0.5 rem. So we want to have this. Let's make this one, yeah. So I want to have 4 tests, 2 and 3, 2, 3, 4, and then like setting everything. I think this should be fine. And then I want to have 0.5 rem. This would be 0.751125. 751125. And yeah, this is actually the last test. So this would be it. This would be only 3. So this would be basically, I always forget, but this would be bottom, left and right, and top, left and right, and bottom. This would be top, left, I guess, right, bottom. I'm not sure. Always have to look that up, but yeah. So these 4 tests gets single space from theme. Gets it's vertical and horizontal. Gets top, horizontal, and bottom space from theme, and then the last one would be gets top, left, bottom, and right. Again, yeah, as I said, not sure about the order here. So now we should have 4 tests failing. This is good. Now let's check the actual theme function. And also let's start with the types this time. So space let's call it name again, and then key of default theme space, and then again return basically the same here. Just let's call this undefined for now. So as you can see, this is now 1, 2, 3, 4, and whatever we defined in the types here. So should we add something like 30, for example, then we should also see this here. Yeah. We don't have that, so let's remove it again. And now we have the theme, and still everything is so all the tests are failing. Let's fix the first one, so this should be easy. Theme dot space and then name. So now the first one is passing. Names. So actually we don't want a single parameter, but several. So we can make this, let's make this a bit clear, array. That's okay. So names is now an array of these numbers. And I hope we can fix this easily by just doing, let's see, names dot map and then name. So now we're missing something. This is closed, and then we don't need that at the moment. But actually, function body would be nice. So this would be spaces. So now we should have a list of REMs, an array of REM values. And now we can concatenate that, I guess. Join, or join actually. And then just with a white space in between. Names map, it's not a function. Okay, yeah, this is... we didn't pass an array, of course. Let's see, can we do it like this? Perfect. So basically what this does, you may know the spread operator. For example, if you do const a equals, this is pretty common, so that's called props. That's very common in the React world. So 1, B, 2, and now you could do like this. Div and then, or not div, my component, and then props. This would just like assign the props A1 and B2. Now we can do something similar with the array, and this is basically, or with the arcs. Yeah, actually that's the better. Let me check. J is arcs. Okay, this is not what I meant, but yeah, similar to that. Anyway, what this does is the numbers here. So depending on this will be an array with a single item 2 inside. This will be an array with 2 items, and so on. So basically we gather all of the arguments, the function parameters in one array here. Now it looks like this gives us some problem here. Type string has no call signature. Let's see. So names is an array of this. I'm not sure what that means, but let me test something. So A, B, C, D, if we would type that out. So we would have this. So this works now. And we would, so, okay, this fixes these things. So actually there's a problem with the definition of this. So space names. Why is this happening? Okay, so basically this does so space seems to be an array of these ones here, then it returns a string. Returns a string or the theme function, so I'm not sure. Did I miss something here? Not sure why the return type of space is string or this function. Can't really see it here. What happens when I just read this? So now you can see that this is just the return value is a function here. But now it's actually correct. So sure. No, it's not. So now it's again there. So, and this seems to be okay again. But the join, so spaces is an array of strings, and now spaces.join, this should return a string. So so now it seems to be working. I'm not sure what I did, to be honest. Yeah, so basically this seems like we have the functions now. So we can try them out. We will leave that for now, but here, for example, so we can do space 4. So space, yeah, works fine. And now let's check if the header still has like some calc with there. So npm run dev or storybook. Doesn't matter at this point. And this was the mobile width. Okay. So this is reloading. And the header has still correct, I guess. Looks correct at least. Okay, that looks really nice. So here we could replace this also with this. But this again is a bit hard to read, so maybe we can actually do something like this. Space 0, this should actually complain now. Yeah, because 0 is not part of this. But we can, of course, add space 0, so 0. And then also here. And now let's see. Now it actually works. So just to double check again, the header should have some padding now, 0, 1 rhyme. Yeah, perfect. It looks much nicer, I think. And here we can test the color. So this would be color 900. Import this. And the background should still be the same now. Okay, it didn't work, obviously. Maybe. We need the name, of course, and then let's see. We could also introduce an enum. Let's keep it like this for now. These strings is always a bit dangerous, I say. Let's first check. So the header still seems to have the right color. So our manual test also confirms that this is working. What I meant by TypeScript, not sure if we can enum and then key off. So basically what I would like to do is get an enum, like enum colors, and then have gray. So something like this. That's no equal sign, I guess. So, and then instead of writing the string by hand, do something like this. But currently I'm not sure how to do that. Let's first use this D2 functions that we have now. So this will be a lot nicer here. So space and then yeah, that's so much nicer, right? Then this like we can actually use okay, I guess I will do this like a bit annoying work later on my own. This you don't have to watch that. But what we have to do here, you remember that that I merged the pull request. So now I'm still on the sidebar navigation branch. Actually, before I started the implementation, I should probably have created a new branch, but let me just stash all changes, include unchecked. So this will now stash all the changes, including the unchecked files. Git checkout main. Now, before I create a new branch, you can see that this is already warning me. Your branch is behind original main by 1 commit. And you can see that this is still migrate to style components. And when we have a look at the git commit history here, this is basically an old commit 21 days ago. That's a long time already. And the sidebar navigation is not yet on my local machine. You can also see that because the components directory is gone, like doesn't exist at the moment. So what we have to do is pull the changes, and now you should see the folders coming back. Exactly. And now we can actually create a new branch, and this is don't remember what the task was called. Simplify access to theme. That's branch name, but we'll stick with that. And now we can do git stash pop, and we have all the changes back here. Now let me create first commit that includes all the new changes. So this is actually, let me create one commit for the whole jest setup first. Sets up jest. No, I don't want this, but only the changes to the theme and the utility functions here. And then like the next commit will be the refactoring of the existing components. I can also push this now, origin, and then simplify access to theme. And click here. This was the wrong window. Let me check again. Again, the wrong window, but what happens is this opens like the open pull request UI directly. And then maybe we can just copy paste this stuff here, places, come with some theme access via nicer API. Places this. So this should be, make it clear now what this PR is doing. And then maybe also have a link to the task again. This page. Okay, now again, we have to wait for the CI, but since I still have to do some refactoring here, yeah, I will add some more commits, I guess. Yeah, so this is it for today, I guess. I will continue next week on Monday, and this is actually in progress, and then I will start with a project list. Maybe if you're interested, this will be the project list. Here we will have, for now, we only have a dynamic sidebar component with some context and state, but here in this one, we will also start by fetching data from an API. So this will be a bit more realistic here. Then upcoming, we will also have this issues page. And yeah, I will leave some of the to-dos here of the tasks, like this filter bar probably. This will be left for the React Job Simulator, I guess. So there you will have the chance to continue developing on this application in an existing code base, which I'm currently building. And yeah, so you can basically gain some near real life experience while building this application. You will have something to put on your portfolio as well, and hopefully learn a lot of like professional workflows, techniques, yeah, and things like this.